And so, this, of course, this is not a group that you want to walk with. So if you're going to be popular with this group, you got to do what they want. No, you just forget this group and be a loner. Then you move to the third group, which is the worst of all. And this group, evil is seen to be good. And good is seen to be evil. Now, this group mocks those who are righteous and defies God's warnings about sin. They scorn anything associated with God's work, curse out God, despise His commandments, mock His ways, joke about God, shakes his fist in God's face, and proclaims allegiance to the forces of the devil. He works to get God set aside, to get His Word set aside, to get God's will set aside. You've got people today in politics doing that. I mean, they are really scornful. They want to shut down everything that's got anything to do with God. They don't even want God mentioned. And they'll go to court and sue you. That's the scornful people. You don't need those kind of people to be popular with. These people actively work to advance the works of darkness on this earth, to legislate that which the Bible condemns. Now, a very obvious reason that you want to avoid these three groups of bad company is that they always demand you're doing what they want in order for you to gain their friendship. You always are going to be required to adopt their way of thinking, accept their course of action, accept their counsel, and agree with them and go along with them if you're going to be a companion of theirs. If you're going to be popular, you will have to do exactly as they wish. They will not do as you wish. They're not going to straighten their lives out to have your friendship. They're going to corrupt you or kick you out. Now, whether you recruit them or they recruit you, the same rule applies. You will conform to their standards or else. The else being, they will ridicule you and then they will reject you. There will be no room in their circle for you unless you conform to their standards. And they will lay the law down to you. This is the way you will do it if you're going to run with us. Well, then just don't run with them, folks. They'll say either become one of us or leave us alone. Well, leave them alone. That's my sermon. The companionship of not one ungodly, not one sinner, and not one scorner is worth the price that you have to pay to join up. Just don't join. They should be viewed as people who have a contagious disease, like the plague. Don't even get close enough to their company to get infected, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get infected. And you can't get far enough away from these kind of people as far as God's concerned. I mean, stay clear of them. 2 Corinthians 6:17. Come out from among the unbelievers and be separate, saith the Lord. Come out and be separate. To walk with the Lord, you're not going to be allowed by them to walk with them. Make your choice. Do you want the companionship and popularity of Christ, or do you want the popularity and companionship of the world? You can't have it both ways.
Shalom. All praises, all glory, all fear to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Hakdash. That belongs to Elden Apostle, the great millstone, citation the election, the true seer house of David. And this is something you really have to understand and comprehend, alright? It's not about how much men is around you, it's about if the Lord is in you, the spirit that is holy, that sanctifies you. And there's a lot of corruptness, a lot of evil, a lot of demonic activity happening in these last days, and especially in this truth. which a lot of men are not speaking upon because they don't want to be looked at as strange or unpopular. But see, that's what Yahushua and his men was all about, being unpopular in the eyes of man, and a group, so to say, amongst the Pharisees, scribes, the carnal church. But in the eyes of the Lord, they were very valuable men. This is 1 Peter 4:4, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Right, so we're running to the beat of the Lord, not the beat of man. See, even with Peter, he was the head of the church. He tried to rebuke Yahushua when Yahushua said he had to suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and Pharisees and be raised the third day. He basically said, thou savest things that be of men, not that things that be of God. See, because his ways are higher than man's ways. Verse 7, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Right? Don't be swayed by all these doctrines, by all these winds blowing. You see? Because even in this truth, a lot of men, they've gone out their way to Satan, man. Like you said that, like you heard in that video, you know, one of the worst ones are the ones that call good evil and evil good. John 6 and verse 27. John 6 and verse 26. Yahushua answered them and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because they saw the miracles, but because they did eat of the loaves and were filled. Right? So a lot of guys, they come to this truth because they see the garments, they see a lot of people, right, come together, and they see that as an opportunity to just feed off of other men. Oh, they only come in this thing for the carnal lamb, not the spiritual lamb. Let me say that again. They come to this truth for the carnal things, the subscribers, the likes, the big ups of guys, but they don't come into this truth, to be filled with the Spirit. Psalm 78 and verse 30. 32. For all this they sin still, and believe not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. When he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned and inquired early after power. And they remembered that God was their rock, and the high God their redeemer. Nevertheless they did flatter with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. And that's the thing with our people. The most of our people, their heart, their mind, their spirit isn't right with the Lord. Psalms 106 and verse. So it's okay, it's okay. Sometimes you might have to take the lonely road. You might have to be alone, not around a lot of people, not a big camp. Because the Lord wants you to do more for him. Not just stay in the back and hold a sign all day. He wants you to what? Study the scriptures, eat this whole roll, and go out and teach. Teach Matthew 23, teach Luke 11, which a lot of guys ain't doing. The Lord said, pray that he sends more laborers into the harvest. The harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers, the true, sincere laborers out there is few. There's few men left that have the testimony of the Lord. Psalms 106, and don't teach like the scribe, but teach with authority. That's another thing. A lot of guys they teach with like the scribes. Oh, we're gonna do a breakdown on Psalms 3, and but they're not getting to the point, the nucleus, which is Yahushua. His life, what he came to do, what he did do, what he's coming back to do. Psalm 106 and verse 10. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. And the waters covered the enemies. There was not one of them left. Then believed they his words, they sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted God in the desert. And that's basically what's happening all over again. They're tempting the Lord. And let's get that word for tempted. It's a Hebrew word, nasa. meaning to test, to attempt. Entice, or attempt to entice someone to do or acquire something that they find attractive but know to be wrong or not beneficial, right? Like putting E, like teaching E. And what do people, what does Jake do when they hear that? They laugh. Like, because there's a lot of demons out there, man. I see on the screen, this is Belial, which I'm going to get that precept. Matter of fact, I'll get it right now. 1 Samuel 2:12. Now, the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord, you see. So even though they were sons of the priests, they had a high position in the church, in the priesthood. They were what? An evil spirit. They had an evil spirit on. A wicked and unprincipled person. The personification of evil. What conquered hath Yahushua with Belial, 2 Corinthians, right? A son or man of Belial. A worthless, wicked, and thoroughly depraved person. So, by them being empty with the Holy Spirit, what do they need? They need carnal things. They need their 1,000 subscribers. They need their 20 garments to fill that void, man, because the Spirit ain't there. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came, while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up the priest took for himself, so they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came, and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, Let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, Nay, but thou shalt give it me now, and if not, I will take it by force. Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before Yahweh, for the men abhorred the offering of Yahweh. See, so just like in these days right now, man, there's a lot of evil, demonic men in high positions that's using basically sorcery and spells. Jeremiah 5:26. And as you guys, you try to mark us, really you mark your own self, man. Because in the law, all throughout the scriptures, if you dig a ditch for someone, your ass is gonna fall into it. All right, this is Exodus 21:33. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And also in Proverbs, when you go to Proverbs, (26 and 27), whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Jeremiah 5:26. For among my people, right, our people, the so-called Negroes and American Latinos, alright, not just boozy badass, but dudes that claim to be leaders of our people, Israelites, men in camps. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, and they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. So just like the title of Great Millstone, right? Not all men, evil men, understand our judgment, right? And as you say, great men are not always wise. So just because you might have that title does not mean you are part of the elect. You're saved already. Check that. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxing fat. They shine. Yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. shall not visit for these things, saith the Lord. Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, right, by force. And my people love to have it so. And what ye do in the end thereof, right? And we're in the end. And our people, they do love to have it so, because they're simple. They judge by the eyes, by the outward appearance. But see, the Lord doesn't look on the outward appearance. He looks on the inward parts. Ezekiel 33 and 31. They come unto thee as a people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. Right? You're supposed to try spirit by the spirit, whether they be of the Most High or not, because many false prophets have entered into the world. But they will not do them, for with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after covetousness. That's right. Now, let's go into the word covetousness. Is by Tazai, is profit, unjust gain, profit acquired by violence. You see, in the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. Not just Esau, but the wicked amongst our people. Carnal men, depraved of the spirit. A wicked, thoroughly depraved person, worthless. Philippians 2 and verse 21. For all seek their own, not the things which are Yahushua Hamashiach's. But ye know the proof of him, that as a son with a father he hath served with me in the gospel. See, everyone seeks their own glory, their own vendetta, whatever it may be, and not the will of the Lord, though. Romans 16 and 16. Salute one another with an holy kiss. The churches of Yahushua salute you, right? And the church, he doesn't dwell in a temple made with hands. He dwells within his elect, the spirit. That's the church. The called out ones. And we're calling out all manner of wickedness, man. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of the evil of a traitor is deceitful. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. They that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, but their own belly, you see, just like the sons of Belial, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. Now let's go to John. (7) and verse 16. Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. Who sent Yahushua? Yahweh. And who sent the apostles last as they were put to death? Yahushua. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God, or whether I speak of myself. You see? He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. And they called Yahushua a devil. So what do you think they're going to talk about us? Check this. 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 12. I'm sorry, verse 11. It's bad. For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. Let's get that word for busybodies. And you can tell when someone doesn't really have a job, they just doing some underhanded shit, you know, and they're doing all these videos, but the spirit ain't there. It's all carnal as hell. Got a lot of guys like that. They're doing a video every day, right? And it's like, you scratch your head, like, what's this guy do for work? He's working with Esau, man. He's working with the enemy, man. Agents. Agent Smiths, man. With garments. And with subscribers. And the accolades and praise of men. So you Jake's gotta open your eyes, man. And smell the coffee or something. That word busybody is to bustle about uselessly, to busy oneself about trifling, needless, useless matters. Use apparently of a person officiously inquisitive about others' affairs. That word busybody is a meddler. A meddling or prying person. Which that word prying, let's get that real quick. That word prying is a excessively interested in a person's private affairs. See? Oh, what's he doing? Does he? Oh, asking all these questions, but they're not examining themselves. So you're supposed to examine yourself, man. See, you got a lot of dudes. All they do is just point the finger all the goddamn day, but they never point the finger back at themselves. And when the finger does get pointed at them, oh hell, man, they give a big fit because they can't handle that, man. Check this, 2 Thessalonians 3:12. Now them that are such we command and exhort by our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. But yea, brethren, be not weary in well doing. And if any man obey not our word by this epistle, note that man, and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. That's right. And that word note is semeo, right? Distinguished by marking, to note for oneself, right? Mark for avoidance, right? So you're supposed to separate yourself, man. Be a holy. And really see this thing for what it is, man. Because no elder, no brother is going to be able to save you from what's about to happen, man. Hey, we came into this world alone, we're going to die alone, man. That's the position of difficulty, man. Only one man can enter there and at once to the kingdom. Colossians 3:22. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh. Now with eye service as men pleasers. We got a lot of men pleasers, man. Only reason you gotta do the truth is because you're trying to please men. You're trying to please this guy, that guy. And by doing that, you're definitely not pleasing the Lord. But in singleness of heart, fear and power. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Yahushua. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons. Proverbs 14:14. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways. See, not the way of the Lord, though. And a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. Verse 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish, right, with faith. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. That's right. So you can't play around with this truth, man. Or the Lord will play around with you. He'll take the spirit away from you, man. Then all of a sudden you'll forget the name of the Lord. You know, I've seen all kind of stuff, man. You got dudes that was in this truth. They they fell out the truth and they married a transgender. You've had dudes talk about mushrooms. I've seen dudes go into mushrooms as a part of the truth, and which those aren't clean. Mushrooms are unclean. It's a fungus. What else, man? All kind of stuff, man. Dudes second guessing themselves and us. Oh, you think the Lord's with you? You think the Lord is with? I mean, all kind of stuff. Dudes fall out the truth, man. All kind of stuff, man. But if you're rooted and grounded in the Lord, then guess what? You're never gonna fail, man. Sirach 2:10. Psalms 21 and verse 8. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out all those that hate thee. Right? And the right hand of the Lord is elect, and no man's able to pluck them out of his hand. And those are the candlesticks that's searching Jerusalem right now, man. This is an investigation going on. And it's righteous. This is a marvelous work the Lord is doing through his little ones. Through babes, which the Lord said he thanked the Father. He kept us from the wise and prudent and gave it unto babes. Psalms 21:11. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform. See that? Philippians 3 and verse 17. Brethren, be ye followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as they have us for an ensample. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, Right, not just saying it once and then not doing a whole video on it for a whole 2-3 months. And then the wolf comes in and what? Devours the sheep. Because the sheep isn't aware of what's going on, man. They're not capable of being able to discern if it's an enemy, it's a threat, and to get into the barn, you know? So you gotta really check that, man. Got dudes going into all kind of topics, but they don't even touch upon this. They're going to Matthew 23, because they are Matthew 23, man. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Yahushua, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. You see? So you gotta ask the question: if they didn't have the subscribers, didn't have the praise of men, would they be in this truth? Would they be doing a video every day? No, they would not, man. Because they're all about what? Being with the cool crowd, being popular, the fame of this world. And the Lord gave a lot of you guys up to that constellation, man. You received your constellation. You received your reward already, man. Luke chapter 6 and verse. And another thing too is that if you don't like what we're saying, then you're a part of the problem. The Lord's gonna do away with. You see? See how beautiful that is? So if you don't like what we're saying, guess what? You're a part of that anti-Yahushua. Because it's the spirit of prophecy. The Lord said, let everything be done in decency and order. And what's the order of things? Where judgment first beginning at? His house first. So how are we purging out the rebels and all the infidels? Through what? The foolishness of preaching. Bring out these scriptures, man. And with intent, and effect, and power. Luke chapter 6 and verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Verse 26. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. All praise, glory, honor, fear to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, Wa, Abad, Babal, and death, destruction to all the anti-Yahushais. Shalom to the Bayat, the Wadah, Badu Ball.